cool. Um, and it's just a good place to get work done for me. The flexibility piece comes in play. Your one thing that I saw over the weekend, this is what made me add this piece in here, is there's an idea that you're working from home. But one thing that really sparked, some curiosity with me was I saw this working remotely principles thing that I found to be pretty cool. The number one thing was you're not working from home. You are at home during a crisis trying to work. I think those are two like hugely different things. This is not normal. You're not gonna, if your normal hours are in the morning or 9 to 5 or whatever your real estate hours are, or for like myself, our offices are open 9 to 5. I kind of work all the time, so it's a little irrelevant. But you have to create a schedule and be flexible with that schedule. My wife is home, obviously, also in real estate. She has a very flexible schedule. A lot of stuff comes up. Like if the kids are going crazy screaming and I need to help, then I'll go help, right? That's okay because I know I'm going to get the work done later. The thing that you can't be flexible with is your lead gen time. Whatever that time frame is over the course of a day or over the course of, if it's the morning or if it's the afternoon, whatever that looks like, you need to stay super, 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 super structured with that time. The best way to do that is to get the people that are in your environment on your page and on your team with what your goals are. But I think in one of the calls last week, I forget exactly which call it was because there's a million and I lose track. One of the calls last week, somebody was talking about getting putting a sign on your door if you have a closed-in office or whatever it looks like, but putting a sign up just saying like you're helping to grow the family or helping to meet the family goals or whatever that phrasing that you want to look at. That's important. If they don't know why you're busy ignoring them and working, then how are they ever going to care, right? So getting them on your page from what you have to do is huge. The fourth, I guess, point in the relationships at home piece is just staying healthy in your mental space. I know we've talked about this a ton. I struggle with it just like everybody else struggles with it. This is not the norm, right? In what I do, and Tori can attest, I don't sit down. I'm like running around all day, every day, in between meetings, meeting people, talking to people, engaging with people. To go from that to this is like the biggest drastic difference I could possibly think of, right? So just being able to find some time to walk away or hang out or disengage at times totally. Like over the weekend I was pretty vacant, which is okay, especially Sunday because it was my daughter's birthday. Having that time is important. Exercising is important. Eating right is important. Whatever you normally would do, like keep doing if you're trying to keep your mental game strong. The next thing that you can win while still being at home is you can still win your relationships with clients. I get a question a lot. What should I do? How can I work with buyers or sellers? What should I do? Should I put my license in escrow? Should I, do some things that are pretty crazy? I don't think you should. I think now is a great opportunity to re-engage your sphere and re-engage your clientele. If you're not diving into your database every single day at this point, you're not doing something right. And what I mean by that is calls, texts, emails, whatever you can do to talk to everybody that you know is huge. And it shouldn't come from a place of, hey, I'm a realtor and I want to sell your house or help you buy. It should just come from a place, and I'm sure we've all heard this before. I've probably said it before on camera, like, how are you doing? Are you okay? What do you need? We are doing that on a leadership team level. We're reaching out to, between all of us, we're reaching out to all the agents. and with a text or an email or a phone call or a Facebook message or some type of reach, just so people understand like we're still there, we're still working. That is what you guys need to be doing right now with your database. They need to know that you're still there. If you've noticed, we've been sharing a like a info graph about every day the new closings, new homes on the market, new homes under contract. Um, I suggest sharing that on your social media or sharing that in emails, just to let people understand like, yeah, it's a little bit different right now, but you can still do work, right? Like the real estate game is still going strong. Not obviously anywhere near as strong as it would be in April of 2019 or April of 2021, but it's still moving. People are still going under contract. I get texts every now and again, from agents that just say, "Hey, I'm working with a buyer. What addendum do I need to put in the contract?" So like people are still getting deals going. I did a class maybe Friday or Thursday of last week about bulletproofing your transaction. And I'm not going to go into detail on every single point on that again because that recording is on our YouTube channel now. But the biggest things from what I took from that is be flexible with your people. If you were working with a buyer and they don't feel comfortable buying right now, that's okay, and let them know that's okay. But keep them engaged over the next few months, because they will buy. If they just had a baby and they need a bigger house, or they need to move out of their apartment, or just they want a dog and they can't have it where they live, like whatever that looks like, they're still gonna move, even if it's not right now. It'll be, in June, July, August, September. I think from every call I've been on a national and a local level, everyone says the same thing when it comes to opportunity, where it looks as though we have a very little to no opportunity right now to make money, to build our database, to build our businesses. I think that is so far from the truth. Um, we have the biggest opportunity we've had probably in a decade to engage our database, engage our sphere, and keep our clients our clients. Um, and you're going to be able to do that by being flexible and working with people and showing empathy, like real empathy. That's the really important thing. So when you're doing your calls, texts, emails, that's what you need to be doing. Anyone who you know was just about to get into the market, or is in the market, wants to pop out, or is in the market and they want to keep moving forward, like you just need to take each situation, um, in and of itself in its own world. And you're probably going to have to change some of your guidelines, some of your timelines, um, with the way that inspections are going and appraisals and things like that. Everybody's running on a skeleton crew if they're even running. So, and maybe instead of you know having a 60-day closing or a 45-day closing on a new property, maybe now it's a 90 or 120-day closing if you add the COVID addendums, right? That's okay. You need to manage expectations, manage fear, and be as flexible as you need to be with all of your clients, more now than you ever have before. If you're newer to the business, you don't know any other way. So continue to be flexible, and that's going to be what gets everybody through this at the end of the day. Um, the more specific thing I want to touch on is the social media aspect. If you've noticed, I'm fairly active on social media. Um, I'm fairly active in our group, but I do want to say that nothing I post is just to post something, right? Everything I post has a reason and a meaning, and not to go like too far behind the scenes, but um, everything I do has a purpose when it comes to social media. And there's a few reasons for that, right? I'm not as big on Instagram. I'm a little bit bigger on Facebook, and I think I find more success that way. I think it's easier to, um, in my opinion, it's easier to engage, but there's no right or wrong. If you didn't watch Stacy Riles' class last week, that is one to go watch. Um, she's amazing, and that Instagram class is on point every single time she does. I think she's going to be doing another one later this week or next week. Um, And I think we posted earlier that the replay was going to be going today. But again, it's on the YouTube channel, so check it out. I like to lean more on Facebook because I think it's easier to give you a glimpse. And people that are going to engage have to do more to engage, if that makes sense. They can't just scroll by and like push a heart and call it a day. But I do want to run through 10 steps to boost your Facebook engagement. And this is now, and this is for any business, and this is, you can use way after this crisis is over. Number one, and I won't go into like super detail on each one. Again, if you guys have any questions or anything, just feel free to put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. We'll have some time at the end. Again, 10 steps. So step number one is show your personality. If I were to ask anyone if you could identify what my personality is based on my Facebook post, I'm sure you probably could. I'm probably not a huge mystery. Part of that, and people who know me like really, really well, again, Tori can probably attest, I'm a very simple person. What you see is kind of what you get. There's nothing really behind, like nothing crazy going on behind the scenes or anything like that. Be that way on Facebook. Be that way on social media, whatever you use. Be your authentic self because you're going to engage people on an authentic level. They need to see your personality, be able to connect and vibe with you. Another thing is to ask questions. I think this is pretty important. So maybe instead of doing a Facebook post that is pretty black and white or an Instagram post pretty black and white, ask some questions. I see a lot of people that get a lot of engagement. They might say, from a real estate perspective, which kitchen would you like better? Or what's your favorite plant to add to your house? Or what mixer do you guys use? Whatever it is, it can be small, it can be stupid, doesn't matter. Getting people to engage with you and ask questions significantly increases your ability to engage with them back, right? Think about if you are on a job interview, how awful is that job interview if they're asking yes or no questions the whole time, right? How awful is a listing presentation if you're asking yes or no questions all the time? Do the same thing on social media. Using imagery actually, so pictures, or even if what you want to do is just post a post that's just words, just a message, find some picture that relates to that, because the Facebook algorithms actually pick up on pictures being included and videos being included, and your post is more likely to be towards the top of somebody's feed at that point. If you haven't, and I'm sure many people haven't, dive into a little bit on the Facebook algorithms. There's a great pivot class. I don't remember when it is. I posted the schedule today. I think it's like Wednesday or Thursday, but it's actually Jay Papasan going behind the scenes with our relationship with Facebook, like KW's relationship with Facebook, and seeing what that looks like and how that operates, how that works. So I really suggest checking that out on KW Connect, because the algorithm's everything. The fourth thing.
Sorry, Brandon, I just want to jump in on that one. Guys, I don't know if you saw my stupid videos that I've been posting about the licenses and the updates that I've been doing on Facebook. There's a reason that I've been posting those videos and not, in addition to the emails that I've been sending out. One, because no one reads my emails.
True.
But two, because no one reads Facebook posts. They just scroll right through them. So I've been posting those videos because they'll stick to the top of your feed, and also people see my face right in front of them and they're going to see my face and click on that video, or you'll scroll right past that video and not watch it, but hopefully you'll watch the video. But that's basically the point that Brandon's making. So,
and even as far as, so if I post something, let's say our page, I always post a link to where I found that thing, because when you post a link into a Facebook post, an image pops up of the hero page of that website. Scroll through Facebook next time you're on, and it's pretty interesting. Look at every post that on your feed and see what has the most engagement. I guarantee you, if there's a picture or a video, it's going to have significantly more engagement than any post that has just text. And that doesn't even matter if the text is really important, People just scroll by because we have very short attention spans. Um, the fourth step. So this is about providing an inside look at your company. Now, your company might just be you, right? It might be you and an admin. It might be you and a few agents. Um, if you are involved with a team or own a team, um, being able to provide an inside look at what's going on behind the scenes and how you are as human beings gives the client a much better um, look into who they're going to be working with. They care a lot more about that than you probably think. Um, and that can be anything, right? That can just be, what you guys are doing to give back to the community right now, events you put on. The one thing I think that people are forgetting about um, right now, even though you can't go outside and can't do events and can't do things, like if you have pictures from things you've done before where it shows who you are and how you engage with people, post them now, right? Like, it doesn't even matter if you posted them already, 3 months ago. If you did a nice Christmas party or something, post a, throwback to our Christmas party when we used to be able to drink it in front of people, right? Something fun, something light, but it gets people to look at you and not just think, oh, we're in quarantine. They look at you and they think, oh, this person engages with people. Um, One thing I've noticed, a little caveat to that, is I suggest if you're going to post anything business related, closings or anything like that, events that you're doing, put a date in the picture or in the text. I've heard people get complaints about them and really negative, negative posts because somebody sees your image, sees your video, sees what you're doing, and thinks you're doing it right now. And there's a lot of people who, myself included, but I'm not gonna, post bad about someone ever. There's a lot of people right now, especially on like neighborhood pages and things like that, that are taking this very, very, very seriously. Obviously, as we should, but will post negatively about your post or about you. So just keep in mind, always put a date during this time frame right now. The next thing is staying specific. So I know Stacy talks about this on the Instagram class as well. This is probably one of the bigger points of engaging with people and winning people in a relationship. Like, you need to figure out what your overall theme is as a business or a person, and engage your database, engage your sphere with that theme. If you look at Stacy's Instagram, how many pictures of like cool, bright doorways or stoops or entryways are on there? Tons. It's in her company logo, right? Like, that's her deal, you know. Um, so again, that's a pretty important thing. Um, don't go, even if it's something that you find really interesting. If your audience is engaging you on certain things, don't post something that's like way out of left field, because you won't get the same level of engagement, right? I think that's kind of obvious, but I think it's often overlooked. Um, uh, this kind of correlates with that, but use your fans' content. So if you have, I'm thinking of it from a real estate perspective, if you know that your sphere and your database includes small businesses, right? Include them in your posts, right? Right now is a great time to support small businesses because a lot of them are struggling on a high level. So if you know anybody, you don't even have to ask their permission, just post it, right? Hey, this place is still open. Matt, the owner, is great. Do something that isn't necessarily going to net you a return, but it's going to make you seem great in front of the client, or potential client. Keep your posts simple. So this is a big one. There's actually statistics that show if you have to click read more on a post, the people who actually engage with that post drop significantly. They want to see an image and they want to see quick, concise text. That's kind of like, getting into the weeds a little bit on Facebook posts, but I think it's important. Keep them as simple as possible. Don't make them convoluted. Don't make them confusing. People have very short attention spans, myself included. And, if you get to the point where it's like, is this too long? Maybe it's too long. The next thing is be persistent. So it takes time to build up engagement with anybody or anything, right? So if you're not consistent on a day-to-day basis, you're probably going to lose that audience. Um, there's there's a way to kind of cheat the algorithm on Facebook specifically. It's called the 555 rule. So basically, Facebook's algorithms will see you as and a very active user, which always puts your post towards the top of people's timelines and top people's feeds. So basically, what the 555 is: 5 engagements, 5 likes, or hearts, or laughing faces, or whatever, on people's posts, 5 comments, and 5 direct messages. If you do that every single day, Facebook will see you as a very engaged user, and they always want to show their engaged users above their non-engaged users. I know personally I've seen a lot of improvement in my own social media work um, with using that. My wife has seen a lot of improvement. She gets most of her business from social media and her sphere um, in Jersey. Uh, so again, use that. Try it. Worst case scenario doesn't work. Easiest thing to do, because I think the likes and the engagements and the comments are pretty easy. The direct messages seem intrusive at times, but think about it this way: I wake up every single day with between 3 and 5, maybe sometimes 6 or 7 birthdays. Just instead of just commenting on their page "Happy Birthday," just DM them. Facebook Messenger them "Happy Birthday!" Exclamation point. Done. Just doing that, A, they'll probably answer you. B, um, that counts as a direct message. So again, keeps your engagement up. Um, this kind of correlates with that. So love your followers. And what that means is engage back. Don't just be a content creator, right? Don't just be someone that posts all the time. Don't just be someone that only gives content out and never actually feeds on anybody else's. Like, it's really, really important to, if somebody posts a cool picture of what they're doing, or something they made or something they're engaging with, for you to like it, comment on it. Let them know that you're also watching what they're doing, because it'll create a relationship, a two-way relationship, which is always better than a one-way relationship. Um, and that kind of correlates to the 555 thing as well. And the 10th biggest step to boosting your Facebook engagement is just have fun. Like, don't make it seem as though being active on Facebook is stressful. Make it seem as though being active on Facebook is something you enjoy doing, or Instagram, or Twitter, or whatever social media. If you watch any sport or live live entertainment, anything like that, um, when you see that the person on your television screen is having a good time, you engage with that person so much more. So just do the same thing on your social media. If you do those 10 things, and what I'll do is I will send out like a little blurb, kind of like a recap. I'm not a PowerPoint person, so enjoy. But I'll send out like something that kind of has those 10 steps and kind of what we've covered today. Try it and let me know how it goes. Let me know if you start the 555 thing. Let me know if you start using more imagery, and just let me know if your engagement's better. One thing that I did want to touch on before we move on to the next couple things when it comes to social media is, so I don't know how, what parts of command you guys use or don't use. The biggest and most money-making part of command that I found so far, I mean, the opportunities, the engagement, the database and smart plans, they're all really good. But the Facebook posts or social media posts or advertising in command are incredible. So I definitely suggest taking advantage of that. If you go into your command profile, I was going to do it with mine, but I have a leadership account, so I don't use my business page linked up here. But if you go into command and you just go into the campaigns area in command, and you go to the different types of social posts, there's actually I'm just going to share my screen with you.
Brandon, tomorrow Tim Beverlin is doing an advanced commands Facebook campaigns and smart plans class at 12 o'clock too. You're muted, Branden.
Oh, my kids were screaming. So I muted myself and didn't unmute myself. Zoom. So Tim is incredible. So what I'll do is, instead of like going too in depth, I just want to at least share where to get to with this. Share a screen. Let's see what happens here. Cool. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Good. So if you just log into Command, and I'm working on setting these up for myself as well. But I do most of my personal page, so it's a little bit different. Facebook doesn't let you do like paid ads from your personal page, obviously. So I'm working on creating a business page. But if you go along the side and you go to campaigns, it's actually pretty cool. So you can pre-schedule, I believe, a month's worth or more of social campaigns. So if you were to go to create social posts, you could put in whatever content you want. But what's even easier is they have these suggested quick posts, and they're really good, and they're already like pre-made. And as long as your marketing profile is set up in Command, you'll be able to just post these. So like this one is a great post about like what locals say, and like your face and contact info will be up there. One of my favorite posts that you can do, that like when you actually put it out, looks like it's something that's kind of difficult, but in reality it's not, is this little neighborhood video. I'm going to play it because it's only a minute long, so I want you guys just to see it. But Facebook or Command will create these videos for you already, and you're able to put in like the exact neighborhood you want. Obviously, this is just an example, so I think it's like Barton Hills, California, or something, or Barton Hills, Texas, or something like that. But I have made these for Rittenhouse. I've made these for Fishtown. I made these for a couple different places with people, and they're all really cool. I'm just going to play it. I don't know if you can hear it, because I can't hear it, which doesn't really matter if you can hear it or not. But basically, it's a up-to-the-date snapshot of the market in that area. And it looks nice, right? I mean, it looks as if it's something that took a minute to put together, even though it really literally took a minute to put together. And it's all up to the date. So one thing that I've seen people try and do with this post is like pre-plan it to go out like next week or in a couple days. With this specific one, you can't do that, just because the first thing you see when you do the post is, when you watch the video, is the date. So if you're going to do these videos, do it the day that you're going to post. And then obviously allowing them, and this is where your information would be, obviously. So this is out of Tampa, but you guys get the general gist of that video. It's right on the side of your social post. So again, log into Command. You'll have to link your Facebook up to it. Go to campaigns and just do social posts. These are free. So this is free social Facebook advertising, and it's a little bit more than like your normal post, right? If you want to explore the paid ads, they're just right here. Again, I haven't set any up because I haven't connected my business Facebook page up to it yet, but I work with a lot of agents who have. Like Mike Rosania, I was just working with him on it, and he's getting leads for like 95 cents a lead or something stupid crazy low. And what we've noticed from talking to people are, the quality of the lead is similar to like a Zillow lead or like a realtor.com lead, meaning that the Zillow leads are pretty low, but you pay a whole lot of money for them. You might pay $500, $600, $700 to be the second or third option in a zip code, and you might get 10, 15, 20 leads a month from that. Most of them are cold. If you spend 10, 20, 30 bucks on a Facebook post, and you can get 40 leads from it, like that's pretty good. Or even 20 leads from it, that's pretty good. And again, now I remember Tim's going through it. There's also a lot of videos on this, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But they're really easy to create. They're really inexpensive, and there's multiple different kinds of Facebook posts you can actually paid ads you can actually run. You can run paid ads that you just want people to see. So maybe it's a new listing, and you just want a bunch of people to see that when we're back to normal, that there's an open house this week, right? You'd want to do an engagement post. So it's going to, using the algorithms that Facebook has, it sees KW as a whole on a national level as one entity. So it's tracking success and failure rates of all these different Facebook posts and engagements. That's huge because now it's going to put your post directly in front of who you want it to be in front of. So if you just want people to see a post, don't really care if they sign up, put their name and put an email in, you can do an impressions post or an engagement post, and basically it just creates awareness. You might get 10, 20,000 people that see a post that they'll never engage with, but at least they see it. Now, if you want to lead capture a post, you can select the lead capture option in Command. It'll put your post in front of people that are more inclined to fully click through and put an email address and put some information in because of that person, because that person's not even in your database yet, because of that person's track record and history of doing that on Facebook, right? So it's tracking all of that for us. The cool thing with that is if you have a smart plan set up already, and if you don't, you should create one. If you have a smart plan set up already for your Facebook leads, you can get them in and put them right on a smart plan. So then they immediately get that engagement. But that's pretty much it that I want to cover on the Facebook side. If you want more Instagram help, Stacy's class. She's way better at that than me, so I don't even try and pretend I know what I'm doing on there. The next relationship that you can win right now is a relationship with your peers. So this might sound weird because you're trying to get business, right? But one of the big reasons to be with KW Philadelphia is the network, right? On top of all the other things we offer, on top of everything KW offers, and having the network of 430 plus agents, available to you is big. Ways to engage your peers: be active on the Facebook group. Post questions on the Facebook group. If you've noticed, people that typically get their questions answered on a higher level are also the ones that are probably engaging back with other people. I think this goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning. When we were talking about social media, the more you engage, the more you'll get engaged back. But it's the same thing with your peers. Like, this is the time to take advantage of the network. And if you have a listing that maybe could go on the off-market list because they don't want to put it up in this type of market, or with the virus climate, reach out to Rodney Ross and Steph Slapin and Leah and get it on the off-market list, right? Those are all kind of things you can do with your peers that now we have the time and bandwidth to be able to do. So I really think that you should dive in on a much higher level. Even if it's just a matter of, Rafi was putting a video up every day for a while. One of his goals was to call 5 agents a day. So he was just calling 5 KW Philadelphia agents, chatting with them, engaging with them. And I love that. He will get opportunities because he did that. I can guarantee it. That he might have not, or build relationships with people that he might have not ever built a relationship with before. So take advantage of that. Use this time and do that. I think it's a big thing that we can win right now. Winning a relationship with your team. So this is obviously more geared towards agents that have a team, or admins that do a lot for the team, like Dom. Even if you have people you work with or whatever, if you have one weekly meeting a week in person, typically during your average non-COVID-19 times, like, maybe now's the time to have 3, to have 1 a day. Engage with people on your teams at a much, much higher level right now, because especially the people who maybe don't do as much volume as others, maybe aren't always engaged in the team meetings, things like that. Like, engage with those people now, because they're the ones that are going to be struggling the most right now. And how powerful is it for you to be there for them, during this time? And one thing that you could do to try and create some engagement with your team is something that we do, right, is from a brokerage level, from a leadership team level, is we see, and see, and Tori sees, and the rest of our team, we see our team as all of you, right? So go out of your way to talk with people, to connect with people, to um, set up Zoom calls. Try and get outside sources. Maybe if you're uh, running a team, or if you're on a team, um, suggest to the rainmaker that they reach out to another agent that operates at a high level somewhere else they're friends with, just so maybe they can come on, do a mastermind, do a Zoom class. Like, that's really, really important right now with your team. And then also create fun things like the happy hours, or team meetings that are more like non just business focused. I think we're setting up like some fun happy hours, some like Quizzo type things. Like, do that. It gets people to engage back, and helps you win with people. And the last thing that we have a huge opportunity right now to win, is our relationship with our vendors. So I bring this up because there's a lot of vendors right now that um, aren't working, or maybe are not having maybe they're a skeleton crew. They don't have the best communication, best timelines right now. It's super important for you to find the vendors that are, um, especially if you have a client that still wants to buy and still wants to sell. You need to have a vendor that's operating on some level, right? Or if they're not operating on a day-to-day basis, maybe they're operating on a whatever the schedule looks like. Um, I know in PA it's tricky because most real estate activities are obviously not going on right now, but there's still people out there who can help. And if they can't help directly, they can at least help you figure out and navigate timelines, right? Um, Jersey, we're able to start doing showings again. New York just able to do showings again. That means other aspects of the transaction can keep taking place. Um, but it's also a good time to maybe talk to that mortgage officer who's been trying to get in touch with you for 2 months and was never able to get in touch. I think it's a really good time to dive in with those people, and dive in with your vendors. And if you don't look at your vendors as part of your team, then I think you're making a big mistake. They are very valuable members of the team. I know this because um, I'm part of Jerry Wells' team, right? So he sent out an email probably the last week or the week before, um, and it was basically a breakdown of like what his team is doing right now, and um, that team included everyone of every level of support, inspectors and appraisers and home insurance people, mortgage people. Like, start to really gather your team, and make sure that everybody's on the same page. And if they're not on the same page of making sure that your clients are well taken care of, then they're probably not a good member of your team, from a vendor perspective. And it's okay to take this time to explore um, different vendor partnerships, because a lot of them have responded to this climate and crisis very differently. Um, that's all I really had written down. Does anybody have questions? I know we have 14 minutes, 10, 14 minutes. If you guys have questions of things you've been working on, um, Facebook questions, whatever, shoot. And if there are no questions, I'll get really sad.
So Branden,
There he is.
how's the hair situation? Because I see you're still wearing that cap, so I'm just wondering.
Not good.
Not good?
Not good.
Like
I got a lot going on back here.
like you might come out of this with a mullet type situation, or what are we talking about?
Hopefully, one can wish.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe I'll start posting. Change up some of my posts, and I'll start doing that. Post my mullet growth.
There you go. That's an idea.
Goals.
I'm on board.
Those are goals.
You gotta have goals. # goals. What do you have an actual question?
Not at this time. Not at this
Great.
time.
Good. So I think the moral of this whole thing was, we're home, right? I think we can get the feeling at times that it's kind of like hopeless. How do I connect with people? How do I work with people if I can't actually go meet them in person? And if you look at the industry as a whole, there's still wins, right? Jack Barry posted in the group the other day, Laura Ryan posted in the group the other day, that they're closing deals and getting people under contract without them seeing a property, which is okay, which is good. You need to be able to acclimate and adapt to that, because that's our reality for the next month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever this looks like. Um, you know, uh, but being able to engage them before they even ever get to the point that they want to buy or sell is really where you're going to make your long-term money. And ultimately, being able to engage them specifically on social media, because it's such an easy way to engage people. Um, everyone that you can engage now and win with right now, you want to be the one they use when the inevitable housing gold rush happens, which is not far away, right? So take advantage of this opportunity, really dive in. And hopefully what you end up finding is there are things you can add to your business that you weren't doing before because you didn't have time to do it before. And you can add those in right now. And then when we get back to normal, you have your normal business operations, right? Plus some additives, plus some extra boosts like Facebook or like the a better call system or whatever that looks like, or Instagram. You have those in your arsenal as well, because that's what's going to help create long-term opportunities for you. Don't focus as much on the potential opportunities you're losing right now, and take this time to really focus on the opportunities that you have an opportunity to go win right now. If you change that mindset to between woe is me to I need to go engage people and win in 90 days, like that's going to be so helpful to you, because mindset is what's going to get us through this. If you want to learn more about mindset, Adam Atkin is great for that. But
I've heard.
yeah, the from my mindset perspective is my business didn't stop, right? I do a different thing than what you guys do, but I'm still getting people to join KW. I'm still getting people to engage. I'm still getting people to uh, get that extra deal under contract just because of the mindset shift. If you're working from home, do as much work as you can from home, and don't allow the overall craziness to limit what you can do and who you can engage. The other thing, and I probably should have mentioned this in like the win your relationship at home with home first, don't overdo it. Right, and I know that sounds kind of crazy, and I'm a big believer in that you should double down and, double down your marketing, double down on everything that you can, your emails, your calls. What I don't mean is double down on time spent on that, right? So let's say you allot 8 to 10 hours a day for real estate activities, and you did 2 hours a day of lead gen activities. Now, still keep the same 8 to 10 hours a day. You have less other things going on, less drive times, less showings, obviously, less, going to La Colombe, you end up talking to someone for 25 minutes or half an hour when you should have been doing something else. Like, you have less of those things. So maybe now dive in for 4 hours of lead generation in a day where you normally would do 2. But that doesn't mean work for 12 or 14, 15, 16 hours a day either. I think that's how throughout this thing you're going to end up going crazy. That's what I did the first 2 weeks. It was like a sprint, not a marathon. No breaks, no anything, just like rocking and rolling for 2 weeks, because I was like, okay, we have 2 weeks and then we're back to the office. Obviously that was wrong. To keep my sanity and keep being actually productive and efficient, I had to change that mindset a little bit to know that I still have the same amount of hours I normally would work, probably a little bit more, because I'm just available more. But what I can do with those hours is so much more than what I could do with my hours before. I wasn't going to walk out of the office and have to go talk to the pro coaches about something, and then 6 people stop me on the way and ask me 5-minute questions each, right? Which obviously I love, and I'm open for that. But from an efficiency standpoint, that's not super efficient. So take this time to really develop a system that will increase your overall efficiency and honestly increase your overall production. Was any of this helpful?
Yeah. I mean, the thing with me, it's different from a lot of you guys, is that I mostly work from home already. So when the shutdown came down, where, you can't be in the office or go out, it really didn't affect me much in terms of overall business. What did hit me was the Legion part, because most of my Legion is open houses, door knocking, and cold calling. So now it's kind of, I don't want to say harder, but the cold calling part is mostly just saying, hi, I'm William, I'm a realtor. I hope you're doing okay. I'm not trying to get you to sell or buy right now, but I just want to start a conversation as a friendly neighbor.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. For newer agents, I think the open house process is, bless you.
Bless you.
I think the open house process is super important, right? And I preach that to everybody. But, Bright, I believe, is putting in place an option to do actually host a virtual open house and have that advertised. So again, things to take advantage of. Just shift where you're putting your time. Like, if you can't do an open house, engage the crap out of people on Facebook, engage them on Instagram, get them on board with you. Get people to, big thing, get people to share your posts. And the more people that you can get to comment, typically, if I comment and I have a set of friends that aren't involved with you in any way, shape, or form, but now my friends see your post because I commented on your post. Things like that. Like, get people to engage with you on whatever level you can. Host first-time home buyer seminars on Zoom. People are doing it. They're getting 20, 30 people to join in. You can still do things to impact people. But right now, again, to show that you're a real person, a good person going through it with everybody else, but you're still here working, and you'll be okay. Anybody have any last fleeting things? Cool. Thanks for hopping on. Stay sane. It's beautiful outside. Go outside, just not near anybody else. Or maybe just go stand near a window.
By the sun right now.
That's what I got going. I had to adjust my blinds and open the windows to get some fresh air in.
Yeah.
But it's okay to still walk outside or open a window for now. But yeah, stay sane. Keep at it. If you need anything, let me know. Thanks.
All right, man.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, everyone.
Got it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.